So my name is Jens. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Released, and before that I spent 15 years at Atlassian. I started at the company in 2004 when we had 13 people, and then left in 2019 when we had, I think, a few more than 13. So after Atlassian I went to a search company called Search.io, and that got acquired last year, and then I figured might as well start my own company and see what that's like, and it's been fun so far. Now, today I want to talk to you about release notes and how release notes actually relate to DevOps and SRE. So one biggest challenge actually that companies have, whether it's communicating externally or internally, is communication and making sure that everybody knows what's going on. Your customers, your support team, your sales team, and with release notes you make that happen. Now, first of all, who works at a company at the moment? Do you all work at companies? Are you looking for jobs, most of all? And who thinks the company does well communicating what's changing product-wise in the company? Nobody does. Okay, that's a good number. And people don't write release notes because writing release notes sucks. It's like a really hard thing to do. When you write release notes, you have to gather the changes, like what has changed, figuring out as a technical writer or a product manager, you have to talk to the engineering team and figure out what have we done, pull that all together, then you have to write it. Writing is hard. GPT makes it a little bit easier, but writing is hard. And then the last thing is you have to do it consistently, not only releasing, but also writing the notes for it. And all that together is made harder by tool support, which is lacking quite a bit. Most of the tools that were available when I looked for a Release Notes app, they look like this. It's basically a text editor, you put a title in, and you have to come up with your release notes yourself. They have some templates, but they don't really tell you how to translate what your team has worked on into good release notes for different audiences. They don't help you at all. So, but let's take a step back. Why should you care about release notes? Starting with the external facing release notes. If you come to a website and you see that the company publishes updates all the time and innovates, you're much more likely to actually purchase that product. It was actually a product that I evaluated, and the last release was a year ago, and I knew they're probably not going to build when I need something that's not already in the product. They're not doing much, so I actually decided not to purchase that product. So conversion is actually a big benefit. Increased loyalty and retention for existing customers. If they see that you satisfy their requests that they make, or that you continuously innovate and get them excited about the features that you're building, then they will tell their friends about it. And lastly, it also is an opportunity to communicate about other changes that you have made. Maybe it's an upsell or cross-sell opportunity. Recently, we put something in there about a new product that we started to build, so the second, and you can get your existing customers excited about the new product. For internal communication, it's just as important. Like number one, it helps you to inform the go-to-market team of what's actually going on in product. The marketing team needs to understand what are the benefits of the features that you have shipped. How do you communicate that to customers? Like what are the details? The support team needs to understand what they need to support. Is there anything hard in there? So there's a whole bunch of teams that need to be informed about what is actually shipping, and you can sometimes tailor the release notes specifically to that audience. You also want to keep your stakeholders informed because they are the people who give you more people or money to run your products or projects. And if you don't get them excited about what's going on and show progress, then they might not be as excited to give you more headcount next quarter. And then lastly, enabling cross-team alignment. Maybe you have a platform team that develops platform components for the other teams, and you want to make sure that the other teams find out when changes are happening in the platform. That's like one example there. Now, most of the release notes today that are written are not great. They're like not discoverable. Like people just can't find them. They're not obvious. Updates are often infrequent. It's sometimes just a wall of text that's not very exciting, or sometimes they're just too brief and don't have enough context. And people simply don't put enough effort in there. And if you don't put effort in writing them or try to make them good, like why would anyone put effort into reading them? Now, what does great look like? Number one is you want to make them more exciting. Don't just use text, like use media. Make them user-centric. make them organized, help people find what they need to, make them engaging and discoverable. And let's look at a couple examples here. So this is Sketch. It's a design tool, and obviously they value like pretty stuff. So they have a lot of images and videos in their release notes, and helps communicate the features much, much better. Even for internal release notes as well, the marketing team wants to see what it looks like. Put a Loom video in there, put a screen recording, just help them understand the features. Put some media in there, not just text. Make them user-centric. Actually, the Microsoft Teams release notes are really, really awesome. They not just tell you what the feature is, it's like screen share, zooming in or something, but actually make it really user-centric. Zoom in and out of screen share during a Teams meeting. Okay, that's what I want to do as a user, instead of the feature name. Now, the next one is keep them organized. So this is the Shopify release notes, and on the right-hand side you can see all the categories they have. It's a complex product, and maybe you want to know about what's happening in billing or any updates to the marketing features in Shopify. So you can just click on the category and then filter the release notes by that category. You want to make them engaging. This is an app called Raycast on the Mac, and it's a cool app to begin with, but they also make their release notes really engaging. In this case, they have they're advertising their new AI features. They have a wait list that people can join up. There's a video that you can watch. So it's not just about like release notes when you engage with customers, but also getting them excited about what's coming up or what's happening at the company. It's a really underutilized marketing channel. And lastly, you want them to be discoverable. I think it's lastly. So if you hide them in a documentation or in a community, people simply can't find it. So again, Sketch, what they do, this is the drop-down that you get when you click on product. And here on the right-hand side, they basically show their release notes, like what have they done, the last 4 titles of the release notes, right there in the center of their website. And they need to do this because they got a little complacent for a while, and then Figma, anyone heard of Figma? Figma kind of like overtook them a lot, and now they're playing catch-up. And this is how they play catch-up. They kind of want to hammer home or hammer the message home that they're innovating and they're constantly doing things. So that's a way to do it. Now, I said writing release notes is hard, and that's why we founded our company, because we wanted to make this easier. Again, like there was no tool to do this, so we decided to build it. Has anyone used Jira here? Yeah. Okay, so one thing that we notice is like Jira has all the. I'm gonna give a demo. I think that's next year. Demo, yeah. So here's a demo. So Jira has all the. Let me see. Has all the data about the work that you've been doing. So we were thinking like, well, what if we can take that data and turn it into release notes? So this is basically what Jira looks like. Usually you have a board here. So now we want to take these items that we've done in the last week and turn them into release notes. So there's a tab here on the on the left-hand side. It's called Release Notes. And first of all, it shows the release notes for this particular project. So if you are like part of the team, you can go there, you can see what's been happening. Okay, there was some task sharing. There's a new search. So you can like go down and see what's been happening. And in order to create a new release note, you click on Create Post. And then you can say here, give me everything that's new since the last announcement that we made, or anything in a particular version, or anything that's in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And you can filter more by like label, show me only things that are public and things like that. So like a bunch of ways to get the right information that you want. And then you just click Started. And then what we do is we create this staging area. On the left, we have this empty editor that I just complained about. This is still an empty editor at the moment. But at least we have on the right-hand side all the things that we want to talk about. So here's an epic. Epics are like big features that you usually build. So why don't we start with this? So you can click on it. You can click on the issue, and you can see what does it actually look like. Task sharing, and there's a whole bunch of functional requirements, non-functional requirements, interface constraints. That's cool, but you don't want to publish that stuff. So you want to clean this up. And the way we do this is you select it, and then you can click this Generate button here top. And then it does the AI magic circle thing. Yeah. And then once it's generated, you can just drag and drop this card on here. And then it creates a really short description this time. Let me just check this, because there's a way to customize the UI, and maybe somebody changed that setting here. So for epics, we have a custom prompt. We don't want a custom prompt, one paragraph. No, that's not what we want. We actually want to have a long description that's playful. That's good. Okay, let's go back here. Go back to the thing. Let's delete this again. Let's try this again. Here, click that again, and then just regenerate the whole thing. So you can customize it based on issue type. If you have a security issue, you might not want to have a playful tone. Maybe it should be a bit more serious. So let's try this again, pull it in. That looks much better. Okay, so basically took all the information that we just had and put this into like a nice thing. You can now easily share individual tasks with your team members, making collaboration a breeze. That sounds pretty release notey to me. That's cool. Yeah, so then you can drag some images in there. Let's just drag from the website. So that's pretty cool. And so on. So for bug fixes, let me just shift click. You can also select multiple issues at once. Let's just do that. Generate multiple items at once. And then have a bullet list here. And then you just add your bug fixes to this bullet list. That's kind of what the bug fixes then look like with a shorter description. So, and then you can obviously customize it. This is a regular editor. If you don't like something, this is a good starting point. But if you don't like something, then you can change it. Then we give it like a new title. We call it DevOps. And we can give it a category here if we want. So demo, and then you can publish it. And the publishing part is really important because we want to know where we're going to put this. So you can publish it to Confluence, which is like an intranet that Atlassian builds, to an announcement page or an embeddable page. You can embed these on your website or in your app. And then you just hit publish. And then that happens. So we can actually have a look at Confluence now. So DevOps. So in Confluence is really good because that's where usually the marketing team doesn't hang as much in your Jira project. They usually spend time in Confluence. So you kind of want to get these release notes into, there it is already, to the places where your colleagues already spend time. So if you click on DevOps, you can see here are the release notes with the bullet points at the bottom. And then people can then have a conversation and ask questions. It's like, was this cool? Sure. Cool. That was cool. Yeah, and then you can have a collaboration and ask questions about the features. So that's pretty cool. There's some other integrations as well. So for example, if you want to share this to Slack, you can just click that. You can click on Post, and then it gets sent to Slack. Is my Slack open here? Yeah. So but there's no notification, but it's here. So then you share it into Slack. So pretty quick to send it to your sales team, for example. And you can install it in your website. And the way you do this is also pretty simple. There's just a couple. First of all, you can configure what it looks like. So these are the release notes that you can embed. You can change the colors. You can change the title here. So let's see what it looks like. You can like make that red if you really want to. And then you can say install it. And there's just a couple lines of code that you can use to then, let's do this all one-handed. Here in this playground, paste them in here, and assume this is a website, and bang, it like appears on your website. So that's how easy it is to get your release notes onto a website. Yeah, so that's basically it. Let's go back to the presentation, but I think that's basically it. So. Yeah, just as a reminder, it's really important to get those updates to the right people with the right message. So if you have technical release notes, you might want to customize the AI to include more technical details of the feature and send it to the support team. If you have higher level or customer-facing release notes, you might want to look at the value proposition and the high-level messaging. So, but that's what you can do there. And that's it. That's all about release notes.